everyone, and welcome to another episode of Signals from the Deep, the official podcast of your Seattle Kraken. Piper Shaw here with my co-host,
JT Brown.
And we are joined by our esteemed guest today. We are very excited to be able to have Jared McCann on the show for the first time. How you doing, Jared?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited that you're here and that you're back. Obviously, I kind of joked to you, but it was sincere after the game against the Stars. I was like, we're very thankful to have you back. It was the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, how was your Thanksgiving? What'd you get up to?
It was good. Yeah, we got together. A lot of us got together at Chandler Stevenson's house. Just kind of, watched some football. Hung around the guys. It's always nice just kind of being away from the rink with each other and not really focusing on hockey all the time. So. It's good. We got a lot of guys on the team who are, obviously into fantasy and stuff like that. So a lot of screaming at the TVs, and it was cool.
Do you have any updates on the fantasy league? I always talk to everybody about it at media day, but we're usually only like 1 week in. I know that Schwartz was a two-time champion.
Schwartz is a two-time champion. Yeah, no, he's doing pretty well. He won, I think, this week as well. So he's back in the playoffs. But I'm trying to think. I think Maddie's grinding this year. He's been grinding. So I think he's like 3-8 or whatever. 3-7. I think. I'm not sure, but I'm 500 right now. I'm happy with my team, and a lot of the guys have competed for me, which I love.
Now, when or if you get out, are you the type of manager that's going to sell their team? or are you going to try to hold on just for the sake of integrity of the league, or do you have those guys that are just going to sell to go through?
Yeah, we have a commissioner. Ebbs is our commissioner, but Ebbs isn't doing too well this year, so
I was going to say, somebody told me that he tried to do something last year or something, and it was
we might have
protesting.
We might have to veto him. There's I think he's trying to get rid of some guys. He's not. I don't know if he's going to make the playoffs. I don't think he is, but I think he put up like 45 points this week or 50 points this week. Yeah, so he's got a decent team. It's just not not sometimes.
It's not there. It's not his week, not his year.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of want to go back to the Thanksgiving at Stevie's house. Did you guys all bring something special, or did they take care of the entire food process, or how'd that work?
No, they brought in some chefs and had everything catered for us. Ham, turkey, stuffing, sweet potato casserole with marshmallows on top. Sorry.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. It
was mushrooms and lost me.
I know. I don't think there was any mushrooms there. Carrots, but a couple pies at the end too that were pretty delicious. Rhubarb pie. There's a berry that's native to Seattle that I can't remember right now, but huckleberry. I think that sounds right. But it was amazing. First time having that, so it's very good. Yeah, we're very thankful that the Stevensons did that. Obviously they have 3 kids now, obviously with cats in there. And I think there's another one on the way for her as well, so they're gonna have a busy household here in the next couple months.
Yeah, that's really cool of them to host. And I was also thinking when I saw the photo of all of you guys, I'm like, I can't remember the first year, but I feel like that might be the first time that the team was home for Thanksgiving ever.
Yeah, it was. And I think the one time we were home, the next day we got back from like a really long road trip, so I think everybody was pretty gassed. And, but spending time with families and stuff like that, some of the guys had their families from out of town come. And cool. We're very thankful for obviously everything, and the Stevensons for getting us all together and making us kind of glue more as a team. So it's good.
It was funny seeing Dunner holding Lars's baby
in
the photo. I was like, wow, the trust goes deep.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the hockey and just kind of what it's been like. Obviously, you got off to a good start with the first 5 games. It was 4 points during that time. Obviously, the injury happens. From my vantage point, watching you come back, playing the last 3 games, it didn't look like you missed a beat, but how do you feel?
Pretty good. Obviously, missing that many games, you're kind of a step behind. But I was the coaching staff did a great job when I was out of the lineup, kind of creating game-like situations for me in practice and the one-on-one situations as well. I work with Jess a lot and Tails as well with power play stuff. So. I felt good coming back that first game against Dallas, and the lungs were there, legs. Once the third period kind of came around, I was a little juiced, but I felt like last game against Edmonton, I kind of kept my legs a little bit more, which is good. So.
Is there a magnet in your helmet?
A magnet?
Yeah, because it seems like you
in my
keep
mouth.
getting sticks to your face immediately.
Yeah, I finally got my jibs fixed actually the other day too, so it was good. No, I've noticed I've kind of gotten a couple high sticks the last couple of games here, but some of them have hit my teeth, some of them haven't, so it's good. Yeah.
I think it was like 3 times in that.
I know, it was like
game.
first shift immediately. Like what?
Welcome back, yeah.
We've talked a lot about the condensed schedule. I know obviously you missed some of the games, but you're still around the team and seeing, what has it been like, or how can you compare it to, other years, this schedule versus say last year and the years before? Yeah,
it's been a grind. It's very obvious that, obviously we have a break now, which is kind of nice. Guys kind of get some rest, which is much needed. But we in past years, like obviously we've had like the All-Star break, right?
Yep.
But I felt like there were times throughout the season where you'd have like, 1 or 2 games or 1 or 2 days between games. Obviously now we have a couple games, but then I think we play like we play 15 games in 30 days or something like that coming up here. And, it's going to be tough. Obviously, we're going to have to communicate. The guys are going to, like, if you need a day, like, you're going to have to take it, right? Like, we need games here. We need to win games. And, obviously practice is very important, but with a condensed schedule like this, it's about, making sure you feel 100% for game time.
Yeah, you don't get to see too many practices so far this year. Obviously today, with having the 2 days in a row, obviously you can get a little bit more work done. Saw you guys working hard. Have you had to change anything as far as whether it's preparation for the game or recovery side of things? Is there anything in that nature that you've had to do just specifically for this year?
Yeah, definitely the warm-ups. Our practices this season, as you can tell, we've a lot of compete drills, a lot of 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, 3-on-3 battle drills in the corners, and you got to put yourself in the best position possible to not get injured, right? Like that's the biggest thing, right? It's a long season, and I feel like as I'm getting older, warming up has become way more important.
Well, I think I can speak for every Kraken fan though too. We're happy to have you back. Obviously, never want to see the injuries, but glad that you've put the work in. Obviously, because when we watch the games, we don't notice it. You say your legs were hurting in the third, but we didn't see any of that. So again, I think everybody's excited to have you back in the lineup and see where the Kraken can go from here.
Yeah, we have a couple of non-hockey related fun questions for you.
This is where it gets good.
Okay. Well, this is where JT really starts heating up, you could say. All right, I'll start with the softball. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
One superpower? Probably the ability to fly. Yeah,
fly?
Cool. Yeah, I like to fly.
You'd probably be disqualified from the NHL.
Yeah, definitely.
I know. I think that's a good one. I can't remember. That's the thing. What I said. I think I said fly would have been what mine would have been on. I think it was like 2 podcasts ago, and I said that one. If you could go pro in another sport, what would it be? And the caveat is you don't have to be good at it. But if you could have just chose to be pro in one sport, which one would you done outside of hockey?
Hockey. I would say golf. I'd say pro golf.
No, okay.
I feel like I'm not very good, but if I were to have a choice, that'd be pretty cool. I feel like it's a competitive,
Yeah. I thought about that one too because love golfing. I think I'd pick baseball. I feel like that'd be fun too. But the reason why I said no to golf is because I feel, just watching different Instagram videos of the pros and how they practice and how meticulous things are. I'm like, I feel it would not be as fun as the golf game that I play right now. It would completely.
Where you crash 6 beers and go rip around?
Essentially, yes. Essentially that. I'm like, maybe it wouldn't be the same game or the same fun. But I do think that golf would be again, you're getting paid to go out, play a round of golf for 4 hours. I mean, you can't really go wrong in that sense.
A couple of drinks. If I could have a couple of transfusions out there, that'd be nice.
Yeah. What is your guilty pleasure? Like, do you have a snack or like a TV show that you're like, look, I know this is not objectively good, but I love this show, or like any kind of food, or even maybe like a musical artist that you're like,
Yeah. So food-wise, I'm a big chip guy. Love chips. Love different kinds of chips. My favorite chip would probably be Miss Vicky's spicy dill pickle.
Oh, that's a great choice. Great choice.
Just the crunch and everything like that. and then for what was the other? Sorry, what was
Or like a TV show.
TV show.
Yeah, it could,
Yeah, my wife and I watch. Just finished the Stranger Things, catching up there. That's a good show. We love that. We did watch. It's kind of a weird show, but The Witcher.
Oh, okay.
Kind of
yeah.
We watched The Witcher. Obviously, they changed cast and everything now, so we kind of got out of it. But like we're. Yeah, Game of Thrones, that kind of stuff. Like, I kind of like that.
I have not seen
We
The
just
Witcher.
finished.
You haven't? Okay.
But I've played the video game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a long one. I'm still not done. Like, it's been years. I think I'm like over 100 hours
think you're
into
gonna
this game.
finish
Yeah,
it.
I don't think I'm going to,
Respectfully.
but I think I have like maybe 10 hours left.
Oh, okay.
Just finish it.
Grind it out. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna get. It's hard to go back now that I've like been 6 months in between.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily remember the story.
Exactly.
And I've done
Remember
that a bunch
where
of
you
times,
were.
yeah.
That's how
But
I
it was
am
an
too
Unreal
right
game,
now.
so maybe I got to tune into the show and see if it's anything like the game.
It's like me with Call of Duty. Like all the young guys on the team play Black Ops 7.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't like played like an actual Black Ops game in a long time. I've played like the Warzone version where you drop in with the guys. And, so yeah, I'm definitely far behind. Same thing.
I was
No,
going to
you'll
ask you
pick it
if
up
you've been
real
playing
quick.
Battlefield. Have you? Do you
No,
play Battlefield?
I've played Battlefield before, but I haven't played the new one.
new
I'm on
one.
Black Ops right now. I'm
You
on
like
7.
it?
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of zombies.
Oh, okay.
It's got the old school field going back, but I kind of burn out. I usually play it too much and then I stop and then I come back and kind of go back and forth. Similar to the food, if you got to choose one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh,
So that we're talking breakfast, lunch, dinner,
The
snack.
only
Yeah, you
thing
get
all
one
day?
thing.
steak, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I could do. I know it's definitely not good for you, but like that much in abundance. But I could do steak. Like we have a buffalo farm kind of near our house in Ontario, and we would go out there and get a freezer full, and that would last us. We'd cook steak and eggs.
Okay.
And so yeah, I could definitely go steak.
What cut and how do you like it done?
New York cut, and I like it medium rare.
Okay.
Yeah. Buffalo, though, it's a lot more, kind of a tender meat, tough meat, so you got to slow cook it pretty good.
Yeah.
But really rare I like on the buffalo.
Nice.
I'd say pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Think about it though. Like
But
I've had breakfast pizza with like egg and bacon
does
on
it
it.
still
It's
count?
still
Does it have
pizza.
to have
Yes,
red
I've
sauce?
thought about this.
Like
You could-
if
no.
it has gravy, like why is it still pizza?
I've had pizza, the ones that have like potatoes
Yeah.
on it, like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a dinner pizza.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different
It's such
versions
a-
of pizza that you could make. I think for pizza it has to have some sort of, obviously a pizza crust. You could have an Alfredo sauce on it to have like a chicken Alfredo pizza. There's just so many different varieties that I feel like again, I love steak, but I would be like, I'd get bored of it. Versus pizza, I'm like, I could have 3 different types of pizza. There's just so many
I
different
feel
ways.
like that's getting a little loopholey, but whatever.
So cold.
I asked the question.
Do you like cold pizza? Like, do you like cold pizza or hot pizza?
I don't like cold pizza,
like cold
but
pizza?
I'm okay heating it up again
Yeah.
in the like oven.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna just put it in the microwave.
Cold,
but I feel like
cold pineapple
yeah.
pizza.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
Oh, it's
Okay,
amazing.
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm with you
I
on
do
that.
too. I am as well.
Yeah.
We're a pro pineapple on pizza podcast.
Yeah.
But I feel like since I asked the question, I
You're
can
fine.
create my
Definitely.
own loophole
just-
if I want.
I just-
Piper, how about you? One food.
I don't know.
You got to choose. I'm putting you on the spot.
I genuinely have no idea.
My number 2 is cereal.
I ate like 7 pieces of lasagna on the last trip though, because I had so much lasagna. You were next to me on the plane. I was like, since when do we have this? But I don't know. Probably something pasta related.
Yeah.
I like pasta.
And there's a lot of options
Yeah,
when
you
it
can
comes
switch
to
it
that.
up
I feel like
Yeah.
that would, although the breakfast pasta might not be my.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't
don't
think
know.
this one through. I've been waiting. It was my question. I've had
Yeah.
it ready the whole time,
Not
so I've
me.
had the time to think of what my answer
Exactly.
would be.
-1.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. My next question is, what is one talent or skill that you wish you had? Not hockey related, just like something outside of that that's like, dang, that's really cool. I wish I could do that.
It's funny you say that. I talked to my wife about this not too long ago. I wish I learned how to play an instrument, like piano or something like that, or guitar, or just something like, musical. I feel like that's kind of like a big thing. My family's not like a big musical family or anything like that, so, it wasn't in the cards. But, when I went to school, I think the whole school had to learn how to play like flute or something like that, right? Kind of like
recorder.
recorder.
Hot
or
cross
whatever.
buns, baby.
Yeah, or the triangle. I was in the back. But yeah, I'd say piano. I'd love to learn how to play piano.
cool.
Maybe I'll get Ev's wife to teach me or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know, that'd be pretty
You do have some resources
I do have some
available,
resources,
yeah.
yeah. I
I'm
think
sure she'd be happy too.
I think she teaches, so, yeah.
JT, do you have one?
What is
Put you on the spot here, and then I'll criticize your choice.
I think for me, I would agree with you. I did play piano for I did a couple recitals when I was growing up, but I stopped playing, so I've forgotten everything. So I think it would be fun to relearn the music side. But I think for me, the number one thing I'd pick is I'd want to know like 6 languages.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a few words. Same thing from going in school with Spanish. We had to do the allotted amount of time going through, so I know some things, but not clearly enough to have a conversation. But I think it'd be cool to know German, French, Spanish, Swedish, you name it, like just to have all of the knowledge and so you could speak to anybody.
I bet you know some pretty good swear words.
Yeah, those are the ones you learn first, no matter who your teammates are, where they're from. The first words they're teaching you are the swear words. So I do have some of those, but again, to have a conversation, I even think too, like sometimes, like going in through the locker room all the time, you would think about, certain guys, they'll have their conversation in Swedish and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but it'd be nice to be able to joke with them or chirp them in their native language, going back and forth. So I think having multiple languages, although I know that would take a very long time to learn, but that would be my one.
They say though that like after you learn 1 or 2, that everything else becomes easier. They do say that, and that you get better at learning languages. Who is they? Like studies people,
Wikipedia.
Sure.
Wikipedia
Allegedly. I don't know what I would pick. I'd probably pick something practical that like would save me money or something. Like, I don't know. If I could have fixed our sewer line when it exploded this summer, which my husband was very upset that we paid somebody to do that after it was done.
That is a good point.
So you wish you were more like handy around the house and stuff like that.
Yeah,
okay.
Even though we don't pay anybody to do anything because my husband refuses to. He will just learn how to do it.
Yeah.
But I wish that I like had more skills like that, I guess. But I think I have quite a few. Like I'm a very good cook and I can do a lot of things. But my main one would be, obviously I write music and I make music and I play instruments, but I wish that I had an ear to be able to mix, like to like know like how to EQ things properly and like get things to sit how I want, and to have that kind of like vocabulary to also explain it to the people that like I work with when I make stuff, because I've studied it, I've watched stuff, but like I don't get it. And it's one of those things where you do have to train your body to also understand like a technological thing in front of you. And I don't get it. I don't know how I'm ever going to, honestly. So I'd also probably say that would be helpful.
I think my practical
or
one.
people skills.
The practical one would be knowing how to like fix my car if something goes wrong, or like I could change my oil and like do.
You don't know how to change your oil?
No, I've never changed it. It's not something that's just taught to you. I don't know.
Yeah,
you love
isn't
cars.
That weird?
I do.
Isn't that weird though? Like we go to school, we learn bed mass and all these mathematical terms that I've never used in my real life at all. But then, like you're stuck on the side of the road, you don't know how to change a tire, you don't know how to, change your oil, stuff like that. And, I think schools should, that's definitely something. I think in shop, like in the smaller schools, like, especially where my wife's from, she's from Atwood, Ontario, right? And in Listowel, I think, they had a shop class where, they teach you how to change tires, oil, all that stuff, right? But it's more like the rural areas, like the city. Yep. Cities don't really do that stuff, right?
I think the one that reminds me when you said that about school, I remember doing the like checkbook. Like we had to practice writing the checkbook and like going like in checks. I mean, you can still use checks, but like they're not the same. Yeah. Most people aren't. You're not going to the grocery store with your checkbook like they used to anymore. And like so, like that one was one that like never really used. Writing checks?
Guess who taught me how to write my first check?
Who?
Brian McCabe. You remember?
Brian McCabe? Yeah.
I was with the Panthers. And thank God he did this. Like this was huge. He brought all the young guys in a room. He's like, I don't think any of you guys know how to write a check. Like all of us. And we're all looking at him like, I don't know how to write a check.
Never occurred to me.
So he wrote like on the board. He's like, this is how you write a check.
Yeah, there's very few things you write checks for now, so it makes sense.
Yeah, he's like, you guys use e-transfer, Venmo, all that stuff, but like, most people still take checks. Like you have to deposit a check. If somebody, you pay the trainers, tips, checks, right? Yeah. So, it's something you got to learn.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff.
Who would be doing that in this locker room, you think?
Writing checks?
Yeah, or teaching people out, yeah.
Who's the oldest guy? It'd probably be Evs. Like, he's been through it all, so he's kind of the guy that everybody goes to for things like that. I think the younger guys, they're always teaching him how to do some stuff. Like you know, too. So,
Definitely.
Yeah. But he's very, very intelligent. Like Evs is a very, very smart guy. So, you know, he figures things out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You have one more?
I got one more. I know you've been waiting for this one.
I know.
So I have another podcast outside of work, and we had this question, and I totally fumbled my answer to it. So I was like, I'll bring it up here. If you could watch one movie again for the first time ever, what movie would it be? Like, you want to experience it again for the first time.
Oh, okay.
I know it's hard.
Yeah, just one movie. I'm a big movie guy, so stuff.
Yeah.
JT, I'll give you some time. I'll start with one. So I had said, I kind of had two, but for different reasons. The first one was it's The Glass Onion, just because there's like the twists. Like once you know the twist, the movie kind of ends for you. You can only really, at least you can watch it more, but I know the twist. There's all the different things that go on. That one was very good. But
Daniel Craig movie?
Mm-hmm.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
I don't remember who.
He's the 007 guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Okay.
But I think the first thing that came to my mind was James Cameron's Avatar. Like the first one again. To be able to re-see that one again, not knowing anything else, I remember going to the movie theater, like how hyped it was, how awesome it was afterwards. Seeing it multiple times in theaters, like that is a movie you need to see in theaters again. So
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say Avatar.
That was for me.
That's a great answer.
So I shouldn't have gone first.
That's well, I got another one though. I got a sport one that was like, you know, the original Youngblood.
Okay.
Remember Youngblood?
Yep.
Yeah, the original hockey movie. That one, for me, it was the funniest because I watched it just as I got out of junior. And it was just, you know, it was funny, so funny. And I didn't know that John Wick there was the goaltender.
Okay, yeah.
It was, I forget his name right now.
Yeah.
So Piper, now you have an opportunity to redeem yourself for the last podcast.
I didn't necessarily have.
Keanu Reeves. That's what it was.
Oh, it's Keanu Reeves.
It's Keanu Reeves. Yeah, he was the goalie. He was a goalie.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty sweet.
Okay, so I don't really.
Well, tell us.
I'm not going to redeem myself because I don't have a better answer than what I said the last time necessarily.
What was yours?
Well, I said like a couple of different things. People were really mad that I said I would watch the Super Mario Brothers movie again in theaters. They were like, it just came out. I was like, yeah, I just want to do it again because I liked it that much when I saw it. And they were like, for real? Like, there's so many good movies. You want to watch the Nintendo movie again?
I'm a big Marvel guy. Like I like the Marvel movies.
Endgame. So we were banned from saying Endgame because everybody said, well, we're not, but on my other show. But Endgame would be the obvious,
Probably one of the best, you know, finale movies I've ever seen for sure. Too.
Oh, that's a good choice too. I mean, there is no wrong answer, but no, I think those are all good movies.
Have you seen the second Avatar?
Yes.
Did you the Way of Water?
Yep.
Did you like it as much as the first?
No, but I'm like that for almost every movie.
Yeah,
it's very hard for me to like a sequel or moving on past the first one because I just think my expectations are so high after something that I really enjoyed watching the first time, and then I'm like putting that exact same expectation on the second movie, and it's very rare does it meet that expectation. It could still be very good.
Dune 2 was better than Dune 1. That was another one I was going to say was I didn't see Dune 1, the first one, in theaters, and I wish I had. So maybe that's, but not because I'm obsessed with it, but just
very rare situations. At least in my I think it's my own fault why the second movies don't live up to it, but that'd be a good one.
Yeah. Okay, that's all that I had. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving us so much of your time, Jared. This was fun.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Anytime.
Well, once again, a huge thank you to Jared for coming in to do this. That was so much fun.
Always nice to get a player on, but obviously give their insight, not only for him on the hockey side, but some of the personal side too. It was good. He had some good answers.
He did. I liked our conversation here too, and especially because we haven't seen or heard very much from Jared so far this year, obviously, which feels crazy because usually we hear from him so much because he typically scores so many goals for this team.
And our questions can be quite random at times, so just roll with it. Obviously, he was a good sport with that too.
Yeah, definitely. So since we last potted, a lot has changed with this Kraken team. On last episode, we were talking so much about the fourth line and how great Ben Myers had been and that Freddie Gaudreau would soon be back. But now, as we record this, not only is Freddie Gaudreau back, but Jared is obviously also back. Capo Caco is also back. And unfortunately, Jaden Schwartz is now out for about 6 weeks with a lower body injury. So just kind of thoughts on how the complexion of this team has changed in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were seeing it around the league with the injuries. And every team, it's about who can stay healthy at this point. And for the Kraken, they were almost, because it was right after when Schwartz got hurt and everybody comes back, I'm like, they were one game away from being complete, I guess, for what you thought with the injuries going through when it comes to the forward and the defense pairings. Obviously, you remember the beginning when Riker's out going through, there was just a lot of things changing. They were so close to being back to 100% when it comes to the forwards and the defense side of it. So losing Schwartz, who at the time, was tied for the league or team lead in goals with 8 and then points of 15 as well. He was leading the team. So that's a blow, right? Obviously, he was having a great start to the year, was on a really good pace, but obviously it's great to have those guys back, right? You want the goal scoring from McCann, getting Freddie Gaudreau back when it comes to being on the penalty kill to work there, getting Kakko back. When he was injured, he had scored in the last game, right?
Yeah,
and
I know.
had already missed the beginning, 10 games of the season, came back for, I believe it was the 7th game that he played, scored the goal, only played in the first period. And he's also, we've seen it around the league. I think the next player up mentality has worked for the Kraken. They need to continue that because just based on the schedule and the grind of this year with the longer Olympic break, injuries happen every year, but they've happened, at least from what I've seen, at least across the league and how it looks like it's a lot more.
Yeah.
So I would be hard-pressed to think that this is the last injury the Kraken will see. It's about who's going to be ready, whose number is going to get called, and when it does happen, or when your number is called, whoever that may be, it could be another player right here moving up into another line. It could be a player down in Coachella Valley getting an opportunity to come up. We've seen that with Ben Myers coming up and playing. We talked about so well. He played on that 4th line and how they were doing. You just have to be ready when that opportunity comes because this year does look like it's been a grind. We talked to McCann about that as well and what he's been able to see and how it has changed from, last year and the years before when you're adding that extra time. But, I think as the team gets healthy, they're in a good spot when it comes to the standings going through. But, I can't remember the exact number. What is it, like 75% make the playoffs once you hit American Thanksgiving, whatever that number is?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about
I'm just saying
situation.
They put how about this? Yeah. Disregard that number. You just because I don't know the actual number. I made that one up as I was going, but there is a number.
It's reliable to assume that
they've done a good job to this point in the year, especially when you consider the amount of injuries that they've had, different guys stepping up in different situations, and again, that's all you can really ask for. And you just hope that everybody, knock on wood, stays healthy the rest of the year, and you get those opportunities. Somebody steps up.
Yeah. So. On a couple of notes there, I have like 3 responses to fit in to your response.
Yes. Number 1.
For one, just for clarity, it is kind of historically reliable to assume and kind of a touch point in the NHL that teams that are in a playoff spot at American Thanksgiving typically will make the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, that is not a science. That is just like a trend over years and years, and we are very much we will talk about the standings across the league in a little bit here, but that I don't think applies this year.
I do
based on what we are seeing, but also the condensed schedule, partially because of these injuries. So you mentioned because of injuries, people having an opportunity to step up, maybe getting called up from Coachella Valley. Since we last recorded, we did also see a call up and a debut of Oscar Fisker-Molgaard. He came in the Chicago game there, played 2 games, and what'd you think of how he played and how he fit in?
Oh, I thought he looked good. He had a great camp going through as well, and it's difficult, obviously, not making the team out of camp. I thought he played really well, and but he went down to the American League and has played well down there enough to earn the opportunity when that chance did come for him to go play. And I thought he did well. I thought, obviously, given limited minutes when it comes to the 4th line role, he ended up playing, playing in the center ice positions, demanding in the National Hockey League. I thought he did well. I think that his opportunities, he was getting to the net front. He's an incredibly smart player. He doesn't necessarily turn pucks over, but he makes plays when they're there. A lot of what I think I saw or was watching in the preseason, he did a lot of that during his time up here. Yes, it was short, but I thought he did great. Almost. It was very close to being the first goal. It was his for a while. Got moved back. It ended up being deflected off of Cartier out in front. But just getting to the net front, getting to those areas, he consistently was doing that. So again, for a small snippet of what he can bring. Obviously, he's going to continue to keep growing, getting smarter, faster, stronger, more confident in his own game, and knowing that he can play, at the National Hockey League level. I think it's only going to do or be better for him as he progresses. But no, I was impressed. I thought he did well, and he did end up getting still his first point. Wasn't the first goal, which we had thought for a second. Going back and forth on the broadcast, wasn't quite sure. But at the end of the day, it was definitely a good first showing for him.
Yeah, and I think you can definitely tell both from his play on the ice, but also just in speaking with him and how he kind of carries himself around the room and around the team, that he has played 4 years of professional hockey in Sweden, 100%, because he really, we see a lot of these young guys get called up and they're always so grateful and prepared and, ready to go. But he just seemed like he had another level of maturity to him, both in his game. I think you could see that he could handle the physical game a little bit better too. Granted, maybe we were playing teams that aren't known for being huge and physical, or something like along those lines. But also just how he speaks, how he thinks the game, how he carries himself. I could tell that he has been preparing himself to be ready that when his number was called, and I thought he was. It was a little bit I'm excited, but he's also I got this.
Yeah, he didn't look like the moment was too big, right?
Yes,
exactly.
That
he was looking like he was a deer in the headlights, and that can happen. And sometimes it takes a few games for someone to get comfortable or confident. Obviously, you have your rookie lap, you have all that attention that's going on, to be able to just kind of block everything out and just go play hockey. He's a great hockey player. You're here for a reason. Just go out and do what you do best. And again, I thought he did that, and I think it won't be the last that we see of Oscar Fisker-Molgaard.
Yeah, definitely. So let's keep it moving here. I want to talk about some good news in the hockey world. We had a couple of things that JT and I were talking off mic about that have happened in the hockey world recently, and we have to start with some hockey history made once again in Seattle with the Torrent playing their first ever game in Climate Pledge Arena. It was just so exciting, and a new U.S. professional women's hockey attendance record as well. I believe it was 16,014 people in attendance, and that's just bananas. So everybody who is there and who is supporting this Torrent team, thank you. And this is how we grow this game that we love, is supporting it at all levels.
I had to double check because I was there. I was part of one of the 16,014 people in the building. You
were 16,013 and Lexi was 16,014.
No, it was fun. It was an awesome atmosphere, and I think the line for the merch might have been the longest line that I've seen outside of a concert, and you're going to Lumen and I think it was Beyonce, I believe was the last one, our concert I went to Lumen, and the line just felt like it was a mile long, or a Taylor Swift. But I was like, I remember the first period we went through, and I was like, we'll just wait till after the first period. And then we went to the line again in the middle of the second period, and it was worse. It was worse. It was all the way down the line. Somebody in the stands that kind of came in afterwards, I think they sold out of everything. And I'm like, oh man, I really should have stayed, because now I'm going to have to wait. But either way, I thought it was awesome to be able to see that many people in the lines picking up the new merch. Love the uniforms. The colors are awesome. Obviously would have loved to see a win, at home in your first game at Climate Pledge Arena. But I thought the atmosphere was great. The hockey was fun. And you also were there. I saw you at the game. You were working.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to maybe give us a little insight of what it was like for you working the PWHL game?
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. So Allison and I are both going to be working Seattle Torrent games. I will not be working every single one, because I cannot work ones that interfere with our Kraken schedule, which isn't that many of them, luckily. Obviously, when you both have the same arena, you're not playing a lot of the nights. So how the PWHL works, not that this is super important, but they're all global broadcasts. So they're always they're not a team broadcast, they are a league broadcast. So you are covering both teams and you are covering them equally. But what they tend to do for the most part is have people who live in that market or are near in that market kind of assigned to a home team. But you have to cut the broadcast or like your commentary of it fairly and evenly.
Yeah.
Obviously, we always intend to do that, but it's just like also like the selection of the storylines and the selection of the players for interviews. We will always be talking to both teams and both coaches, not just the one. So anywho, Allison is the color analyst.
Yep.
I believe she is on all of the Torrent games. So that's very exciting because she obviously doesn't travel with the team, but I have a couple of like travel hiccups. So yeah, so it was super fun. And it also is just really cool to obviously get to see Allison have a unique opportunity to try something different and add to her repertoire. And she's obviously been such a great voice for women's hockey and has always covered it and followed it. And so I just think it's an awesome opportunity for her. And for me as well, my role is it's not completely the same, obviously, because I'm not as entrenched in the team and the dynamic. It's more about just working the broadcast for the league rather than telling, the overarching and intimate stories of the team and these players and those kinds of things. But it was really fun to be able to do a both team broadcast again, even though obviously I wish that the Torrent had been able to score a goal in the home game and not been shut out to the 2-time Walter Cup champions. But hey,
I can say that I went there as a fan, all right?
Yeah.
I wasn't working. I wanted to see some goals. I wanted to see the crowd erupt. They were ready.
I know. And I know what the win song is. And I wanted to hear it so bad play out in Climate Pledge Arena, and I want everybody else to know what it is. But maybe they will know what it is. Hopefully they know what it is by the time this podcast comes out. So anywho, it was really fun to do things a little bit differently. And our producer for most of those games is John Bradford, who was the executive producer of Root Sports for a very long time and used to be my boss, but had never produced a game that I was working on. So that was also very funny to have him like in the truck and calling the shots for us. That was like just a fun experience. So anyways, it was a great day. It was honestly like a magical day, but you just obviously wish that they would have won or scored a goal. But hey, you take the good. You take the good. Yeah. All right. Next thing.
Number 2.
This also has something to do with attendance at a hockey game. We had an incredible moment on our broadcast in the afternoon game against the Oilers with your son, Booker Brown in Climate Pledge Arena, who is having himself a day.
To say he enjoyed himself, like that'd be an understatement. He had been talking about going to the game, and actually when we left to go to the PWHL game, the Torrent, and when we were leaving, he was like crying because he thought that we were going to the game tomorrow, like the Edmonton game, so he wasn't getting to go, or that we weren't going to that. Was kind of confused that there were back-to-back games. So that's how upset he was, thinking that he wasn't going to be able to go to the game. So he'd been thinking about the Edmonton game all week at least. And yeah, the candy got to him, the root beer got to him, the ice cream got to him. But I'll also say
like father, like son.
He is a little bit of a wild child. So it was slightly elevated because they were at the game. But he is always filled with energy. So to see him like that, I wasn't shocked, but at the same time, he was throwing his head back and forth. He's got the nice Lexi sewed in some hair into a hat, so he has like his own little buoy wig. They got the new black jersey. Lily got a pink one that she finally got one at the game when they got there as well. So like they were all super excited. I think he wore that Seattle Kraken chain for the next few hours after the game as well. That was his purchase at the rink when we got there, or when they got there. But yeah, no, kudos to Lexi though, because she had to put up with both the kids during the game and make sure they were going through. And again, Booker was being wild. I don't know. I'm assuming we'll throw a clip up there at some point so you guys can see it.
Lexi seems so chill though, because she's obviously in all the clips too. She seemed like she's just like,
seen it before.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, I think the best part too was I had texted PB and said, hey, here's where Lexi...
Our director, Pat Brown.
I texted him and said, hey, here's the seats here for Lexi, Lily, and Booker. Get a shot of them, especially when he's got his hair going. Like, I love when he has the full outfit. He just loves Bowie. And I didn't tell Lexi. And so I kept going back, and eventually they're going through, and she just said, I wondered why the camera just kept turning around. One of the camera crew, like right behind the visiting team goalie kept turning around to look and like shoot Booker when he was being crazy. And then eventually, obviously, figured out once the whole clips came out and everything went through. But she's like, yeah, I was wondering why they kept turning around to shoot him. Like, then eventually I told her, I was like, hey, tell Booker to put his buoy hat back on because he was getting warm having it through. And that's where the great video came through of him just shaking his head. I'm sorry to the lady next to him. I think his hair might have whipped her a couple of times as they were going through. But no, it was definitely fun to see them. And anytime they can go, especially for the afternoon games, they try to get to those games.
Yeah, definitely. It is a family experience at a Kraken hockey game.
That's
Fun
like
times.
our version of the Mariners cotton candy girl now.
Yes. A couple people put that little GIF on underneath one of my posts and like saw it and they were laughing. I'm like, must be a Seattle thing, and I was just laughing. I saw that. It was awesome.
I was also dying at your Instagram story of the Vikings game that I didn't realize you attended it with Fitz. We don't need to talk about the results.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to talk about the results. I just thought that it was very humble of you to admit defeat and let Fitz smile in your photo while you looked devastated. You know, I
see in situations
like, wow, that was big of JT.
Not to go to, because again, it's still fresh, at the time of recording this. So I'm just like, for me, I wanted to get ahead of it before he could say something.
Yeah.
So then that's why I went out there right away, took the picture, we posted it, and I made sure I got my word out there first. So just please respect my privacy during this time. Like it was a rough game. I was booed by a 13-year-old because Fitz kept egging the 13-year-old behind me to boo me. Yeah, it was. I was in my Vikings gear, obviously, but I digress. We don't need to go further. But yes, I just had to get ahead of it before he could do something else.
That's valid. All right. Well, speaking of a Minnesota team, I'm so sorry, everybody, but if we're talking good news, the Minnesota Wild did something absolutely awesome since we last recorded that we wanted to highlight. So for Minnesota's Indigenous Peoples Night, I don't know if they call it something different formally. That's what we call it here. At their game, they invited and they had a first of its kind Ojibwe call of the game. So they had a whole broadcast booth dedicated to calling this game. It looked like they had 3 folks in the booth to calling the game. And I just thought that was so awesome. They got to call some awesome goals. Like when you're listening to it back, you can like feel that excitement. So it was first of its kind as far as we're aware. That has never been done before. And we just wanted to shout that out because when people do good things, I think it is worth letting them know that you've done something great. So I know that it was something that was really cool to your wife as well, to Lexi. So anyway.
I thought it was awesome
out.
getting to see the clip of that and just like you said, the excitement, right? I think we have seen, whether it's calls in Spanish, I think that LA has done stuff like that, or in Florida as well. There's been some back and forth, or even just any call. But when you get to have different cultures go through, and especially introducing for the game of hockey and trying to broaden the game of hockey, it only helps. But then when you listen to it and you watch it, I listen to the excitement and how awesome in that moment it was pretty special to watch. It also gave you goosebumps listening to the call, no matter if you could, like for me, like I don't understand it, but I know how special that moment was, and to be able to hear it and respect it, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially when, you think about the state of Minnesota too. It is the state of hockey, and it is obviously a state built on native land. Yes. So to have them take a moment to honor, it's kind of crazy that it's the first time, to be honest, but it's still great that it happened. So so shout out. And speaking of Indigenous Peoples Night, the Kraken's Indigenous Peoples Night is coming up on December 16th. We thought that we would maybe force JT to do a little bit of QVC modeling for us of the specialty jersey. Where if you're on the video version, then you're going to see it here, but otherwise maybe we can try to give you a description. It is orange and it is beautiful. It was designed by Amber Webb. And I know that it's supposed to be a nod to kind of the ecology of this area, and that native tribes in this area, have had a mission and values to preserve. So
I think it's awesome. There's so much detail. Hard to really tell. I really like the anchor, and I've been in the fish that create the anchor for the shoulder patches. Looks like scales for the back on the Kraken and the 32. The way the bird ends up creating the S with the fish as well. Like, Sorry,
Do you
I'm
need a
doing it.
hand?
I'm doing it
I know,
because I can only
we're trying
hold.
to-
I have to hold the
Here we go.
microphone, so I'm not doing a very good job of holding it up to see. But no, you can just tell so much thought went into this jersey, and to be able to bring it to life. Obviously, it's special for Amber Webb to be able to do that and to put this out. And again, obviously, all of the jerseys look fantastic. Every single one that gets put out, but this one's pretty good. I really do enjoy. I think this one's special.
I love the numbers too on this one. Super cool. The pattern on the numbers. Very neat. So anyway, that's coming up. December 16th is the Kraken's Indigenous Peoples Night presented by Muckleshoot Indian Tribe. We will see you there, or be square. Okay? You don't want to be square. I don't think you want to be square. All right. We've got one more topic that we want to talk about here. This is more of a league topic, because this has been crazy. I think it's been the main thing that most hockey media across the NHL have been talking about, and that is just the state of the standings in most of the divisions, in the conferences. It's absolutely crazy. Like any game on any given night seems to be able to have the power to shift where so many of these teams stand here. So everything has been so close. We talked about the injuries as well around the league and kind of the impact of this. But when you look at the standings, maybe we can start with the Pacific Division. What does that tell you about what's going on in the league this season?
Well, when you look at, especially for the Pacific Division, you're looking at so many different teams moving up and down where they're at. I don't think anybody expected Edmonton to be sitting in sixth right now in the Pacific Division when it started, right? No one had that on their bingo card. Maybe nobody had Anaheim being the number one team in the Pacific Division, but it's about being healthy. It's about peaking at the right time, getting through, but anybody can win at any point in time in this league. We've said it all the time. The parity it's been brought a lot closer. I think, again, you think of how condensed the schedule is. There's more games, more teams are playing. Anybody can win on any given night. And I think the difference that it really means, because we say it all the time, that every point matters, whether it's the one just getting to overtime versus losing in regulation, or getting that second point, especially when you're playing against a
division opponent.
Or an Eastern Conference team, and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter if you give that point away, right? But at the end of the day, you don't want to be giving points to anybody in your own, especially not the Pacific Division. So every point is going to matter, and as tight as this is, it may stay like this for quite some time, right? Like what team's going to peak, what team's going to stay healthy, and that was my phone. If you guys heard that, I dropped it. But at the end of the day, I think that it's good for the league. I think it's good that there's so many teams so close together that every game truly matters. And I think it's incredibly important. We see it across the different divisions as well. It's not just the Pacific Division. Thank you, Piper. Every division has teams that are, say, maybe they're overperforming. Some teams are underperforming where you didn't expect that to happen. But, outside of Colorado.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was just about to go.
Like Colorado is
a wagon.
Yeah, they are one regulation loss so far this year. So
one loss
at this point of recording
in regulation.
Right? But outside of that, it's like
we haven't played them yet.
No, anybody can go. Dallas obviously is a very good team. They're not too far behind Colorado as well. But especially when looking at the Western Conference, there's so many teams that are fighting for spots where. When you go into the season, you're like, oh, okay, well, there might be, 2 or 3. These are the 2 or 3 spots that the rest of the league or the rest of the division is fighting for, right? But I think that's what makes this game so much different from other, professional sports is we can have all the thoughts we want before the season, and it usually doesn't always end that way. Anybody can win. There's going to be, I don't want to say a Cinderella team because they're all professional teams. It's not, like March Madness when the team wins, but a similar case where a team was written off, right?
Yeah, maybe like the St. Louis Blues in 2017 when they won?
Yeah, that was more of a run too, yeah. They obviously had a great team, but they got hot at the right time. Anything can happen. But I'd say like Anaheim.
But you'd think that's a Cinderella story. You're way out of the playoffs in January.
Like that's versus, again, where you look at where the standings lasted last year, whether it's a team like Chicago, I believe they're 4th in the Central right now. Anaheim moving up to 1st. Like that's, again, they have a ton of skill. They've put it all together. You get the coaching, you get everything down, and now you're seeing these teams push everybody else. And I think that's only good for the league. But yeah, no, it's going to be fun to watch, and I think it's going to go down to the wire for a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think we have 2 months of hockey ahead of us that are going to be very, very fun to watch. I think December and January, there's going to be a ton of games and very important games. And with how tight everything is, leading up to that break, to that Olympic break, there's going to be so many good stories. And so it's just, I'm already like salivating thinking about it.
I do want to note, you are correct. I did say the, like for this year, when it comes to like the American Thanksgiving, it's probably not the same as every other year.
But maybe before the break.
But it was, I Googled and it said 75 to 77%. So my number that I came up with, that I obviously have heard it somewhere. I didn't just completely make it up, but I pulled that number out of nowhere. It was somewhat correct. But at the end of the day, I think just based on how tight the race is this year, anything can happen. You're not, I mean, Seattle's sitting in fourth, but they're 3 points behind first, right?
Yeah.
So there's not a large gap between, the teams right now. So I think it's going to make for some very, very interesting hockey as the season progresses.
Yeah. And as we get closer and closer, we can talk more about the Olympics. We don't need to right now, obviously, but I think that is going to be an interesting wrinkle that we see towards the end of December and into January, is how teams are handling players leading up to it, because obviously everybody wants the best players available for their country to be able to play in the Olympics, but ultimately probably teams and most people care more about their NHL team winning right now, especially with how close the league is. So I just think watching that balance and the coverage of there, is going to be definitely something to
and our guys, are they healthy, right? Like, are they nursing an injury and then trying to stay healthy to get to the? I mean, because like you said, the teams want them to be at their best for the NHL season, but also at the same time, like a player's dreams and goals to play for your country in the Olympics is pretty spectacular, right? And especially since NHL has not been involved,
correct,
for quite some time when it comes to the Olympic play. It's going to be special.
Yeah, I think it will be very interesting to see where teams are at right before that break starts. That might be that. Maybe that's your 75% Thanksgiving measurement, but given the way the year has gone. But we'll see. All right. Well, any final thoughts here?
No. I think this was awesome. Always fun to sit down and chat with you. It was great talking with McCann as well. And
yeah, Jared was great. Nice of him to lend us some of his time when he's got so much going on. So, all right, everybody. I think that wraps it up for us here on Signals from the Deep. JT, Drew, it's great potting with you.
Can't wait till next time.